off or silencing your cell phones. Welcome, everybody, to the regularly scheduled meeting for the Monterey Peninsula Airport District Board of Directors, March 19th, 2025. Can we have a roll call, please?
Director Amati,
Present.
Director Gagliotti,
Here.
Director Pick,
Here.
Director Leffel,
Here.
Chair Miller.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Amari, can you help us?
Of course. Please repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Communications and announcements. Anybody on the board have anything to say?
I just want to say, since Mr. Lapierre isn't here, that we got the announcement yesterday that's going out on JSX, and that's very exciting.
Yeah.
That they'll be back June 19th. And they've added Carlsbad. So Burbank, Carlsbad, and John Wayne. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, very good.
It's seasonal, it's summer, but it's good during that season.
Haven't flown it yet, but I heard it's a very good connecting flight, very comfortable inside. Okay, anything from staff?
Just bring your attention to, in front of you, you have your invitation tomorrow night for the Lights Camera Monterey, opening of our new art exhibit with the Film Commission.
Awesome.
And that starts at 5:30
5:30.
to about 7 o'clock. Very good. Thank you for doing that. Okay, public comment. This is a time for anybody wishing to make a public comment for something that is not on our current agenda. We only ask that it be a matter that this board has some jurisdiction over. Any member of the public wishing to speak at this time in the audience? Seeing none, how about in virtual? Anybody wishing to speak, please raise your hand.
Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll close public comment. Consent agenda. These are items that are routine in nature and comes with a recommendation from staff. Any board member or member of the audience can pull an item from the consent agenda. Does anybody wish to pull a consent agenda item?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Director Amati,
Aye.
Director Gagliotti,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay. Moving at breakneck speed here.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, having broke my neck, I can testify. Regular agenda item, adopt resolution number 1896. Chris, are you going to help us with this one?
Mark will-
Okay, Mark, take it away.
Good morning. So what we're bringing to the board this morning is a resolution to authorize a professional services agreement with S&P Global Ratings for the purposes of rating a potential financing scenario under which Barclays Bank is making the airport an interim financing arrangement. So as a matter of background, when we last met to talk about the plan of finance, an integral part of the plan of finance would be the ability to accept an interim financing provided by Barclays Bank. The thought being that that interim financing would get us through the period during which we would obtain and close a TIFIA loan, and that this interim financing would then be taken out next summer, when we know, hopefully, that we have our TIFIA loan in hand, we know what our costs are, and then we can make the appropriate offering of a general revenue bond. So in discussions with Barclays Bank, for them internally to get an interim loan approved, they require a rating from S&P specifically. What we are proposing here as a matter of strategy is to get initially what's called a indicative rating, which is a non-binding, non-public rating. We would use that rating to evaluate our structure, make any changes to the structure that might improve our rating and therefore improve our cost of borrowing under the facility. So with that, be happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I'll open it up for public comment for 3 minutes, and then we'll circle back to the board if we have any questions. Any public comment at this time? Seeing none, how about in virtual? Any public comment? Raise your hand electronically.
See no hands.
Okay. Any questions? Let's start down here with Director Pick.
No questions. Thank you, Chair. I just have one that, just to clarify, the TIFIA is summer of 26 or 25?
So our current timeline on TIFIA is we are planning to close it in this calendar year, but we would not draw on
Right,
it
okay.
until the following
That's-
summer.
That was the distinction. Okay, yeah,
Yes.
thank you. That was in my only clarification.
Okay, thank you. Director Leffel?
Thank you. We spent quite a bit of time on this in finance, and I think all of the questions were answered. And we are in agreement that it should be approved today. I will say it's actually a very, very good way to do it. It's a really good structure,
Yeah.
Mark, to do it and kind of hedge our bets on it. And in listening this last couple of weeks about financing, I'm going to say that I think our whole structure is really good to show our community that we're not just relying on federal dollars and on other dollars, that we are also putting our own skin and counting on our community and future earnings to pay for part of this, that this isn't just gimme, and get every grant and every bit of dollars that we can. So I really think this entire structure makes so much sense, and I really appreciate that you and staff have put a lot of work in on it. And I mean, I've been on the board 16 years. We've been talking about this when I came on the board to build a new terminal. Didn't just happen, and it's just been a steady plod to get there. Sometimes one step forward, two back. But anyway, I really appreciate it, and I'm fully in support of this. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Director Marty?
I just wanted to echo what Director Leffel had said, and thank you really for a very comprehensive presentation in the Finance Committee. And yes, I am in support of this.
Thank you. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I would move that we approve resolution number 1896, and I will not read the whole thing, but
I'll second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Director Marty,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
yes.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We are doing a pass to print on ordinance number 931, the ordinance of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District to recodify and republish the ordinances of the Monterey Peninsula Airport District and to cause the recodified ordinance to be published on the district website. Mr. Huber, are you helping us with this one?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Um, Good morning, board members. It has come to the attention of staff after, several, records requests that we received that the ordinances of the airport are not online. And so we figured this would be a good time to recodify the ordinances. We have a list of those that were active and those that were not active. And going back in history, and I don't know why they did this. I didn't bother to look up the reason why, but any transfer of property from the 1940s and 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s would be passed as an ordinance. And then the property has subsequently been transferred, but the ordinance still shows as active. And so there's a lot of ordinances that relate to leasing of property, transfer of property, both coming in and going out.
So it's a cleanup.
Easements. So this is an opportunity to clean up the ordinances. We do have, if anyone would like to hear in the public, I do have a list of the ordinances that will be remaining active. It's important to note again, that we're not, we're going to recodify this, put it on the website so that it can be transparent. Everybody can see it. It's easy to comply. If someone has a question, they can go right to the website and find the information they're looking for. We are not canceling any ordinances that change any, like for example, there's a business license ordinance that's remaining. All of the ordinances that are currently in effect are remaining. That have an effect. And I say it that way because again, I'm thinking about, like for example, with the Monterey Jet Center and Del Monte Aviation, those leases were approved via an ordinance. But then when they were modified, they weren't necessarily modified via an ordinance because that stopped being the practice. The regular practice now is if you have a lease, a long-term lease, you can go record that lease or record a memorandum of the lease so that anybody who looks up the property can see it is encumbered by a long-term lease, and that gives them the instinct to then go look into it. That was the original purpose of the ordinances, I think, but I don't know because I didn't bother to do the research. But we have not done that since at least 2000, and I think back into the 90s we didn't do it. Anyway, so again, I do have a list of the ordinances along with just a short version of what each ordinance is about that will remain active. If anyone would like it, I do have copies of it. I can pass them around. But on this one, the staff recommends that you adopt and pass to print ordinance 931 by title only, and it is procedurally how it works to pass an ordinance. You have to have 2 hearings on an ordinance. This is the first.
Yeah.
Then we'll publish it in the newspaper, and then it will come back at the next meeting for your final approval. Then it will go into effect 30 days after that. Our goal is to have this on the website before it goes into effect. Shouldn't have a problem doing it. So happy to answer any questions you may have.
Can we,
Okay.
have that
Oh,
list?
sure. You bet.
Thank you. And these are the ones that are remaining, right?
These are the ones that are remaining.
Well, as that practice sounds not so good right now, still only 931 ordinances after 85 years isn't too bad. Could have been a lot worse.
Could have been, yeah.
Okay, let's open it up to public comment. Any member of the public wishing to make a comment on this issue before we discuss and vote on it? Okay, I see none. How about in virtual? Any member of the public wanting to speak? Raise your hand electronically.
And Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay, I'll close public comment and let's open it up to questions. Let's start at this end.
Oh,
You
thank-
go, yeah. Director
Yeah,
Monica,
thank
go ahead.
you. So where on the website would this information be shared? Are we going to create a new page
I think
for
we're gonna create a new
ordinances?
page with ordinances.
I would
I
agree.
think.
Talks about what an ordinance is.
Yeah, no, I think making sure that our records are in order and the public have access to them is important. Just more of a general question. Anytime that there are changes made to the website, I would imagine that that's an operational thing that staff would normally be able to just do, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so this is coming to the board because there are ordinances that are no longer active that you want to,
Yeah, so technically,
Remove?
so for example, and I'll use the Monterey Jet Center again as another example. Technically, that ordinance that approved the initial lease for the Monterey Jet Center before it was built, just the ground lease, that's an ordinance, and it's never been repealed, so it's technically still active. But the amendments, so about 5 of the amendments didn't get passed with an ordinance. And so while it's technically still in effect, the action that the ordinance would implement has already been done.
Yeah.
So there's really no need to keep these ordinances around. For example, I saw a lot of leases, a lot of property transfers coming from the county to the airport and property purchases by the airport, and it delineated, well, those purchases have already been done and they're recorded. And so keeping the ordinance active just, again, to me, doesn't make sense.
well, so let me get this clear. The motion that we would pass to print, is it to recodify these and put these on the website and also to repeal any of the other ordinances?
You are in fact repealing all other ordinances beyond these. And the reason why is it makes it very clear to the public what are the ordinances that are in effect as of today. And to me, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have an ordinance in effect from the 1960s that someone may have to go look through it to determine, oh yeah, that's not applicable to my situation.
Right.
It's just, I'll call it bureaucratic clutter.
Yeah.
And so this is an effort to clean it up, to say, okay, what are the active ordinances that are currently in effect? And let's keep all of those.
And it's not that I don't trust you, but would we also be able to get a list of all of the ordinances that we
You bet.
are
You
healing?
bet. I'd be happy to do that. And again, if there are additional questions, I do want to make sure that I'm clear about this. You do have a second bite at the apple, of course. And so,
Yeah.
so the answer is yes. I'm more than happy to get you that list of ordinances and any copies of any ordinances if you'd like them. We will have them available, I believe, by Friday. Many of the ordinances were asked, copies of them have been asked, through the Public Records Act by members of the public. So we've necessarily had to go through and I say I'm taking credit because I'm I'm not the one.
It's the big we.
It's the royal we. Right. Denise has been predominantly going through and pulling these old ordinances, finding them and scanning them. And so anyway, long story short, I'm more than happy to provide all of those documents to you.
No further questions, John?
Okay, thank you, Director.
I want to clarify something. We do not need 930
No.
sets of documents. So if you're giving a list, that might be for me sufficient. I can look at it and see if there's anything.
Sure.
I understand what you're saying and I get it. It was actually just a change in procedure that then this is going to make it easier because it follows everything in line going back to 1941 when we were established, correct?
Correct.
So it just was done one way. We started doing another way. This makes it all clear. So I appreciate that. I think anything that makes it more clear and more transparent is good. How many other districts have all their ordinances on?
So this is an interesting question. Most special districts don't have the ability to pass ordinances. This is a unique feature that came out of some litigation back in the 60s, early 60s, that this airport has what I will put under the large umbrella of zoning authority and law passage authority. You have that in the enabling. Most special districts don't have that. Now they have policies that sort of dictate how they, run things. But most of them don't pass ordinances. Every city passes ordinances. Counties pass ordinances. But again, this is I use the phrase, sometimes when you hear the clapping of hooves, you expect a horse to walk around the corner. Well, the airport is like a unicorn. right? Because it sounds like the same thing, acts like the same thing, but you are literally one of the only special districts in the state that can pass ordinance.
Okay,
And pass a law that can be,
That's,
and put somebody into jail if they don't
That's-
follow it.
that's what an ordinance is. It is it is a local law.
So how many cities have all their ordinances on? I looked, I did not see hardly anybody that has all of this on a website.
Most of them do,
Okay,
but you have to know the terms to search for. So you don't search for ordinances. What you search for is the municipal code.
okay.
And what they do is, and again, I'm as a public agency lawyer, here's how it works. When an ordinance is passed, and I'm going to use just a hypothetical, when an ordinance is passed that repeals some of the law and inserts new law, what you see isn't the track changes. You just see the new law that's there. Right? That's all you see. If you want to know the history of it, then you have to ask for a copy of the ordinance. And most public agencies, if you look up, municipal code or the city municipal code, down below each ordinance or below each section, it'll tell you the ordinance that enacted that component. So you know exactly what to go look for.
Okay. I appreciate it and I fully support this. I think it's good and it'll give people a clear direction if they want to go look at something, they can go look. Or if we want to look up something, we can. I will say, I'm going to make a statement here because I read a lot of other agencies' agendas and things. I think we are one of the most transparent in how we line item and describe what we're voting on. I've looked at 3 or 4 in the last week that I had questions on, and you can't tell. And most of it is one little sentence and then executive director will give a verbal report. And then in the minutes, if you go back, there's actually not much there either. So I really commend our staff and you, Mr. Huber, for making it transparent and keeping us so that people can see what we're doing both in advance and what we did in the past. So anyway, I support this.
Thank you. Director Gaglione?
I didn't know this was going to be such an interesting conversation.
Oh, ordinances are
Yeah,
always-
I know, exactly. I know.
The whole-
Municipal code is riveting. But I appreciate two previous directors' kind of comments in there, and I agree with Director Amati in that I wouldn't want to have all of that errata posted so that they could also clickable, but it would be nice to have that list and maybe even called errata that they could click off and go see if it. I mean, if anybody has the time to do that, but I guess what I'm saying is I like the idea of showing the this is what we're getting rid of and this is there. And then on the looking up the municipal code, there's a third party. We did it in Delray Oaks when you were in. There's a third party that does this for all of the jurisdictions. I think nationwide.
Yes.
So is that we're going to use or?
No, I actually, those are important to do when you're working for a municipal agency like a city,
Yeah.
because they have so many different chapters of the code.
Right. Yeah.
With this one, we looked at it and I mean, this is it.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we figured,
We can
why
test
hire a
those.
third party to
Yeah.
do what we've literally already done?
Yeah.
So doesn't make a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah. I'm in complete support of this and like the ideas.
Very good. Director Pick.
Thanks, Chair. Great work. I think I agree with Director Amati. I'd like to see the errata list or what, but the idea that we're doing this ourselves, having done DRO's Muni Code with a consultant that cost a lot of money and took a lot of time, looked really good when it was done.
Yeah.
But it was spendy. So appreciate the work.
Yeah, these companies charge upwards of between $25,000 and $50,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more stuff you have in the code, the more that number goes up.
Denise gets a raise. Is that?
Thank you. That's all I have, Chair.
An attaboy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thank you and thank staff, collective staff, for bringing this up to date. I too would like to see a list, but if we could have a reason why it's being cancel.
You bet.
Just a real, one sentence explanation. I think that'd be helpful for us.
You bet.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to get this process started.
So moved on ordinance number 931.
Second.
You seconded? Oh, Director Pick seconded that.
Sure.
Okay, we have a first and second. Roll call, please.
Director Amati,
Aye.
Director Gagliardi,
Aye.
Director Pick,
Yes.
Director Leffel,
Yes, thank you.
Chair Miller.
Yes. Okay, well, that's the regular agenda items. Let's move on to board reports and acceptance of department reports. The department reports were in your packet. Anybody have a question on those? Yeah, I don't see any board committee reports for finance. Anything to add from finance?
Think so. We spent most of our time on the S&P and understanding it and making sure that we supported it. So everything else is pretty, we're at our slow time of the year, so everything is pretty regular. Nothing surprising in the month of January, which we reviewed.
Okay. How about from Air Service, Director Pick, Director Gagliani, anything to add on that?
No, not at all.
Okay. And lease, Director Pick, anything needs to be discussed beyond what was listed?
No, Chair.
Okay. Liaison reports, local.
Sorry, public comment on board on those?
Yeah, I was going to do that after we get to liaison reports. I was going to do public comments, but just put them all together. Local agency formation committee, Director Leffel, anything to add?
We have not met. We are meeting a week, next Monday, the 24th. We'll have the first meeting we've had since December. And there'll be the I chair budget and finance for LAFCO. So it will be the draft of the budget. And just so you know, Mr. Wilson, we are going to ask for a 1.5% increase from all of our contributors. And it started at 4.8. And my mighty little committee was able to bargain it down. So it'll be a 1.5 coming in, and I'm pretty sure that's going to stick. We got it as low as we could. And a lot of that discussion, just so you know, was because of the uncertainty of what's coming with both state and federal dollars and grants. It just seemed like it was inappropriate to ask all of the contributors, counties, cities, and districts to come up with 4.8 when they all may be taking some hits and they all have some mighty needs. So anyway, that's where we're at. The other thing that'll be on there is we revised the policy and some employee things. And there was a huge section, I think it was like 10 or 12 pages on COVID. Like how to do this and how to do that. And we worked with our outside attorney, they redid it. We were not happy with it because we're like, look, COVID's kind of come and gone, but there may be another disease or something that comes with a different name. So make it so that it is across all lines. Don't make it just COVID specific, because if we get another big hit, we'll have to go in and change all of the procedures on how you wash your hands and stay apart. So anyway, we cleaned all of that up, and that's really what's going to come before the commission. I don't think there's anything on any annexations or any boundary changes coming forward this month.
Okay. Transportation Agency for Monterey County. I did not attend last month, but I will attend this month. So nothing to report there. Regional Taxi Authority, Director Pick.
We did not meet, Chair.
Okay, that's good. Special District Association, Director Leffel.
No meeting this month,
Okay, we do have one coming up in April.
correct.
You know what date that's going to be?
It's the third Tuesday. Second Tuesday.
Oh,
Third Tuesday.
Third
Second
Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday.
Whatever date that is,
Second or
more information to follow. Okay, and Association of Bay Area Governments, Director Leffel.
All of the conversation is around the arena numbers and the housing and how the county and the cities and that AMBAG is a tri-county organization. So it's all of the counties and all of the cities in the 3-county area, Santa Cruz, San Benito, Monterey, reporting in on their housing numbers, what's been approved, what they're still working on. And actually, there is a brand new metric that is coming out that they can all subscribe to that'll show what's planned, what's in construction, what's in discussion, and what's being built and what's finalized. So that not only will it be, these are the numbers we had to do, we don't know where we are in that pipeline, but it'll be a really good chart for anybody to be able to look, talking about transparency of where are they in it. So I'll make up a number. If your number was 4,000, but you're not building them, but you got that approved through the state, but yet you're not doing anything, everybody will be able to see that it was just kind of pie in the sky and that you're actually not following through on it, that you've got 12 things under construction. So it's a pretty good metric, I think. So there was a lot of discussion about that,
Very good.
which doesn't impact us other than that it gives us more people that will use our airport if they build those houses. So
Okay, and we have no conference reports to add. Public comment, any member of the public wishing to comment on board reports? Anybody in virtual wishing to comment, raise your hand electronically.
Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay. We'll close out board reports. Pending requests for future agenda items. Any member of the board have any requests? Okay. Any member of the public have any requests for future agenda items? Nobody locally? How about in virtual? Raise your hand. Electronically?
And again, Mr. Chair, I see no hands.
Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
so moved.
Second.
Oh, one thing I forgot to ask, Personnel Committee, we didn't have any meetings since our last report, and Local Jurisdiction Liaison. Did you guys meet at all? Okay. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hey, can I ask one question?
Yes.
Did we ask the public if they have anything going into our next meeting? That
You certainly can. We'll do it at the meeting as well, but you certainly can now if you'd like.
Okay. Well, we are going to adjourn to a closed session meeting where we'll be interviewing candidates to for our executive director's position. Mr. Lapierre will be retiring in a couple months. And we hope to have something favorable to report at a later date. So entertain a motion to adjourn.
we did that.
Okay, did we get a second?
We did.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 8:36 a.m. Thank you, everybody, for showing up.